Hey there, and welcome. Today, we're going to dig into a really cool reading passage from the IELTS exams. It's all about the dramatic escape of King Charles II. But we're not just here for a history lesson. Nope. Our mission is to pull out some incredibly powerful, high-level collocations from this story. Phrases that are going to add some serious punch and sophistication to your speaking and writing. So let's jump right in.
Picture this. The year is 1651. After a resounding defeat in a massive battle, a young king has been completely beaten. He's now a fugitive in his own country. He's desperately seeking refuge, hiding out in forests and secret rooms, trying to escape his enemies. Pretty dramatic, right? Well, this is the backdrop for the awesome language we're about to master. Okay, so let's crack open our first toolkit. These phrases are all about talking about conflict and what happens because of it. And, whether you're discussing history, current events, or even business competition, these collocations are absolutely essential.
Just look at how strong these phrases are. A resounding defeat isn't just a loss, it's a huge, echoing failure. To be comprehensively defeated means there was absolutely no question who won. Every single one of these adds a layer of precision that examiners are really looking for. So, how would this actually work in an exam? Well, you could use it to talk about a government policy that failed, or maybe a company's marketing plan. Calling it a resounding defeat immediately shows the scale of the failure. It's so much more impactful than just saying it didn't work. This is perfect for those big, undeniable failures. And here, you can see how a phrase from history is perfectly suited for modern topics. Seeking refuge is ideal for IELTS tasks about migration, international relations, or humanitarian crises. It adds this layer of seriousness and formality to your answer, which shows you've got a really great vocabulary range. But of course, the conflict itself is just the beginning of the story. Once the fighting stops, that's when the memories and the stories really begin. So how do we talk about that part? Well, let's move on to our next toolkit. This next toolkit shifts our focus from the event itself to how we remember and talk about it. It's all about the language of storytelling, which is perfect for discussing biographies, historical accounts, or even sharing personal experiences in the speaking test. These phrases are going to help you describe how stories are told and passed down. I love this mix here. You've got the people involved, the loyal supporters. Then you have the act of actually recording the history to commit a story to paper, which, sounds so much more formal than just write it down. Then you have the story's content, the personal recollections and the emotional tension. And finally, you have the consequences, the events that were set in train. Check out this example. Instead of saying we should write down old stories, using it commit to paper just instantly elevates your language. It suggests this really serious, deliberate act of preservation. This is a fantastic phrase for any academic essay and writing task 2 that deals with culture or history. And it's the same with set in train. This is a more formal idiom that is just perfect for cause and effect essays. It doesn't just mean it started. It implies that it kicked off a whole long chain of connected events. Using it shows you understand complex processes, which is a huge skill for getting a high band score. Okay, so we can describe a conflict, and we can talk about the stories that come from it. But for a band 7 or higher, you need to do more than that. You have to analyze, evaluate, and critique. So where do we find the language to do that? And that brings us to our final and maybe our most advanced toolkit. These are the phrases you absolutely need for writing task 2 when you're building an argument, evaluating a solution, or critiquing someone else's point of view. This is where you really get to show off your analytical skills. Now this gives you the language for real deep analysis. You've got phrases for presenting difficult ideas, like an uncomfortable truth. You can describe how a writer avoids a tricky topic by saying they steer deftly clear of it. And you can evaluate if something worked, asking if it hit the mark or if it doesn't do justice to the subject. Using a phrase like uncomfortable truth is such a powerful way to introduce a problem in your essay. It tells the examiner that you're not afraid to tackle complex issues head-on. It really signals a moment of serious, critical thinking. Okay, this slide says it all. This is the difference between good English and great English. The Band 6 sentence is fine. It's clear, it gets the point across. But the Band 8+ approach, using doesn't do justice to, is just so much more sophisticated. It's an idiom that perfectly captures that idea of an unfair or incomplete representation. Honestly, it's a total game changer. Let's look at one more really useful idiom, hit the mark.
It's such a simple, clear metaphor for success. It's perfect for those problem solution essays where you have to evaluate whether a proposed solution was actually any good. Did it work? Or did it completely fail to hit the mark? All right, we have just powered through 3 incredible toolkits, packed with high-level language. Now, let's bring it all together for one final review. This is your chance to see all these powerful phrases in one place. So, here they are, 16 phrases that can take you all the way from describing conflict to telling stories to building powerful critical arguments. My advice? Pause here, take a screenshot, and start thinking about how you can drop 1 or 2 of these into your next practice essay. They are now officially part of your IELTS toolkit. So, we've reached the end of this explainer, but really for you, it's just the beginning. The only thing left to do is to start using this language. So, my final and I guess tantalizing question for you is this. Which of these powerful phrases will you be the first to commit to paper? Thanks for tuning in.